What's up YouTube? Battling Bosser here with another deck profile. This time it is Gladiator Beasts. Also showing off my new playmat that I won at Locals yesterday. Look at this thing, freaking badass. So let's get on with the deck. First up we got 3 Laquari. He's basically a beat stick. All the GBs have an effect where they battle, they go back to the deck, special summon one from your deck. And they all have an effect when they're tagged in like that. His is he becomes 2100 attack. And now you got a beat stick that can easily beat up the opponent and then tag out for any other one you want. He's the best to draw though, because he's the easiest to tag out of all of them. 1 Bestiari, because of course they can't freaking let him at 2 at least. The only problem with him being at 1 is he gets bottomless, you're screwed. He is the one you need in order to summon the Gizzarus fusion. Next we got 2 Darius. I would like to run them at 3, but I only have 2 that are secret, and I'm trying to keep all the Gladiator Beasts to be secret rares for this deck. His effect is basically when he's tagged in, you monster reborn one from the graveyard. If he's removed from the field, shuffle the one you bring back to the deck. Really overpowered. It can also quickly get you a fusion. Next we got 2 Equist. I know most people run them at 1. Everyone's always telling me to take 1 out. I don't like though how once one of them is destroyed, I can't bring back the War Chariot now, can I? So I have a second one just in case. Plus, having 2 just makes it easier to actually draw a monster so that I can tag out for whatever I want. Next up, we got 1 Murmillo. Really like this guy. Freaking overpowered card. When he's tagged in, you destroy any one face-up monster on the field. And of course, it's mandatory, so don't tag him out. Don't tag him in unless the opponent has one for you to destroy, unless you want to pop your own card. I mean, he's only 800 attack, but hey, who cares? You pop the monster if you pop his only monster, he's wide open, you attack directly, tag him out again. Next we got 1 Raitiri. Everyone's always telling me to just put him in the side deck instead of the main deck, but I main him because nowadays, most decks that you see at tournaments are always graveyard kind of decks. Like, even Boojins use the graveyard. Like, they use the turtle, banish it from the graveyard. I can just tag him in to banish the turtle. Like, every deck nowadays uses the graveyard in some way. And I can just quickly tag him in to screw up their whole strategy. So, that's it for the Gladiator Beasts. Next we have 2 Fire Fist Bear. I like him, because, I mean, there's 3 Fire Formation tankies in the deck anyway. Why not run him? And of course he quickly gets me another one, so I can even search for another GB. Some of them are targets for tanky. Next we have 2 Effect Veilers. I'm thinking about taking at least 1 out, because I mean I got the War Chariot, but the problem is drawing the War Chariot. The opponent will usually swarm me before I draw it, so I got 2 Veilers just in case. Next, 2 Maxi, because you really need draw power with Gladiator Beasts, since you need to make sure you got a monster and a bunch of traps to keep them out for a whole turn. That's it for monsters. Next we got 3 Proving Ground, basic search card for GBs. Next we got the 3 Tankies. Really good in this deck, because I mean half the GBs are Beast Warriors, you can search for them, and then it boosts them by 100. It's not much, but it helps them at least keep stronger so the opponent can't destroy them before they manage to tag out. Next we got 3 Forbidden Lance. I know most people don't use it at 3, but I like it because it can protect my own guys from like Bottomless or Dark Hole or something. But the really fun part with it is you attack me with a monster, I weaken your monster by 800, your guy's destroyed, and I get an excuse to tag out. Next, 1 Book of Moon, staple card, obviously. 2 MSTs, because I really don't like when you bottomless my bestiary or Solemn Warning Gizarus before I get to destroy your stuff with him. That's it for spells. There's 16 monsters, 12 spells, and 16 traps. I know 45 is not really a good number, but I mean, basically you draw one monster in the deck, you drew all the monsters, so I don't really care about it that much, as long as I don't go above 45. Next I got 2 Wabaku. I'm actually trying to take one out and put in a third defensive tactics, but I'm currently looking for one. Basically, the opponent declares an attack, you immediately activate this. His attack is not cancelled, but your guy's not destroyed. So if that was a Gladiator Beast he just attacked, your Gladiator Beast can now tag out for another one at the end of the battle phase and immediately go into Murmillo and pop his attacker. Next we got 2 defensive tactics. Most Gladiator Beast players don't use this. I love it though. It's basically the same thing as Wabaku, but you can only activate if you control a face of Gladiator Beast. Also, after the effect applies, it gets returned to the bottom of your deck. So you can just keep stockpiling your deck with this thing and just keep using it over and over so you get an excuse to tag out all your GBs. I'm looking for a third one so I can replace one of the Wabakus with it. Next up we got the 3 War Chariots. Really great card. The opponent activates a monster effect. You immediately flip this over. Activate only if you control a face-up Gladiator Beast. Negate the activation of an effect monster's effect and destroy it. No cost, nothing. Just negate, effect, destroy. And it's really good with Gladiator Beast Equise. That's what Equise is mainly for. Tag in Equise, you return War Chariot from the graveyard to your hand. Next, 2 Mirror Force. Because, I mean, we're against the meta, basically. This deck is not a meta deck. It's not fast at all. So you need something to protect your guys so you can go off on the opponent. 1 Warning. Same reason as Mirror Force. 2D Prison. Because, again, there's some decks that are graveyard bound. So I use them to both protect my monsters and banish their guys. 2 Fiendish. Same thing as Effect Veiler. I don't like when people's effects go off. And it stops them from attacking my guys before they can tag out. 1 Bottomless. So I can just immediately destroy their monster and banish it. And 1 Compulse, because most decks nowadays are all about Xyz monsters. So I just bounce your Xyz back to the extra deck. So that's it for the main deck. Next up we got the extra deck. 3 Gizarus. Really overpowered. Most people only use 2. I use 3 though, just in case the 2 get destroyed. The Gladiator Beast do an awesome kind of fusion called Contact Fusion. You shuffle the materials from your field to your deck instead of using polymerization, and then you immediately summon him from your extra deck. He uses Bestiari, the green guy that's at 1, that I really wish was at 2. But when he is fusion summoned, you immediately can destroy up to 2 cards on the field. That's why I hate Solemn Warning though. They negate his summon, I don't get his effect. But really overpowered. Oh, and if he attacks or is attacked, at the end of the battle phase, you can tag him out for 2 more Gladiator Beasts. Instead of just 1 like the other ones. Then we have 1 Izidari. He's kind of the same thing. Contact Fusion Gladiator Beast. Any 2 Gladiator Beasts instead of having to use a specific one. No effect, just a 2500 attack beater. Then we have 2 Heraclinos. Most people just use 1. I just like having 2. 3000 attack beater. You fuse with Laquari and 2 others. And of course it's Contact Fusion again. And Laquari is the one who goes up to 21, the one I have 3 of. And also, you can discard a card, negate the activation of a spell or trap, and destroy it, as long as this guy's face up. It's not even once per turn. Just negate every card. That's all the fusions. Next we got the Xyz. 1 Zenmains. 1 Utopia, to protect my guys so they can tag out later. 1 Giga Brilliant to power them up so they can tag out. 1 Acid Golem. I really hate skill drain, so I just like using skill drain to my advantage. Leviathan Dragon for if I'm desperate. And 2 Levier for in case they bottomless or de-prison my bestiary. Because I cannot let that guy go away. I need to get him back immediately. And I got just the 2 level 3s in the deck I need to use Levier. And then I have 2 Synchros for in case I ever summon a Effect Veiler. Stardust and a Colossal Fighter. I probably won't ever really use Colossal Fighter, but Stardust is really good in the deck. And I'm actually thinking about putting Starlight Road in the deck anyway. So that's the deck profile. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you like, please subscribe.